Hello Internet, I'm Scott and this is PLUGHITZ Live Unboxed. Today we're going to take a look at the Edifier S880DB powered desktop speakers. These are designed for a variety of inputs. In fact, they've got, your more traditional aux in, they've got Bluetooth built in, but they've got a couple of cool things about them. They've got USB digital direct, which I really like. They've also got fiber optic input and digital coaxial input, from what I understand. So I cannot wait to take a look at these. If you're not familiar with Edifier, they have been around for a while. We used to sell them when I was in electronics retail. They were some of our favorite, iPod speakers. But these obviously are more for a computer type scenario. So let's take a look at what comes in the box here and how the speakers themselves look. Based on the photo on the front, I would say that they are a very attractive set of speakers. I like the aesthetic on the packaging. When you first open it up, the first thing we get is a little note from Edifier. It is seemingly in French on the front. On the inside, we have it's information about the speaker and headphone limited warranty. So this is a warranty sheet is the first thing you see. Next is something printed very, very small. It's the FCC statement. So far, 2 legal requirements and no actual information. Okay, obviously these speakers are going to be a little on the heavy side. All right, interestingly, they seem to be packed in here upside down. A little odd. So there we have one. They're packed in almost a fabric, which is kind of nice. Keep the speakers from getting chipped or scratched during shipping. This one also is upside down. Still strange. So there we have the speakers themselves, and as the photo on the front suggested, they're a very nice design with a kind of a whitish silver, kind of like a pearlescent white, which has always been popular in electronics, with black accent. And then the side here we have a really nice light wood grain design, which I like. On the front we have 2 cones, and I think both are the same. Yes, yes, indeed they are. On the back of this one here, all we have is a jumper. So there's no special, there's a very special connection on this, and only the special connection. And then on the other one, we've got a lot. So I'll flip it around to you in a second so you can see them. But so let's see. We have got, on the top, we have auxiliary and PC in left-right RCA connectors, which is definitely a unique scenario. Below that, we have our USB port, which is for our USB digital direct, which we've started to see on more and more products. The next one is our fiber optic connection down here. Below that is a digital coaxial connection. So we have 3 all digital connections back to back. Below that, we have the other side of the jumper connector from this speaker. So that's the one that connects the 2 of them together. Next to that, we've got a power connector, which will obviously power the other speaker over the jumper. And above that, we've got 3 dials. Obviously one for volume. The top one is for... the top one is for treble, the middle one is for bass, and the bottom one is for overall volume. So that is everything that comes on the speaker. And that sums up the speakers themselves. There's also an FCC statement on the top of the active speaker, as opposed to the passive one over here. I guess they're really worried about that FCC Bluetooth issue. I do not see, based on what I'm looking at here, I do not see how to put the speakers into Bluetooth pairing mode, which is an interesting situation, and maybe as we go on we'll understand it, because I believe that there is some sort of a puck. So another layer of styrofoam, which we'll get rid of, and the bottom is a bit of a mess of stuff. I actually think that the box was packed upside down, because the speakers were upside down. These 2 things, which are kind of irrelevant, were on the top, and the inside of the box, once we take the stuff off, is just kind of in there. So I think this box was packed upside down, which is unfortunate. So the only real way to do this is like this, and I hate to do it because you guys are going to hear all kinds of weird noises. All right, so let's take a look. We'll pull all this stuff over here to me, and push the speakers over here now to take a look at what else comes in the box. So first, we have got a power cable, which is just a standard Mickey Mouse power cable. So nothing special about that, thank goodness. I always prefer a non-special power cable. Here we have got our jumper cable that we talked about that goes from the active to the passive, which actually just looks like a MIDI connector, which is pretty interesting. Here we've got the power block that this plugs into. So we'll plug the Mickey Mouse cable into here, and then this I think just has a standard M-type plug on the end of it. So again, sticking to standards. Here we have our manual. Our manual is significantly thicker than what we usually see with these, even though it is in a number of languages. English, French, Spanish. Let's see, what else have we got? German, Italian, Portuguese. Okay, so everybody has an opportunity to learn how this works. Here we have a standard USB A to standard B cable. So this is for the digital direct. Here we have an 1/8 inch to dual RCA. This is for the standard left-right PC connection. We noted that the back had RCAs for PC. This is how they're dealing with it. Here we have a dual RCA to dual RCA. This is for your auxiliary input. So if you were to use this for, I don't know, the speaker out on a turntable maybe, something like that would allow you to use this standard aux cable. Here, interestingly, we have a fiber optic cable that is in a retail package. So that's a little bizarre, considering everything else was just in plastic, but whatevs. And here we have the little puck that I had talked about, that I had seen a photo of. So this little puck appears to communicate with the speakers via infrared, which is strange for sure. We don't see infrared used a whole lot anymore, but the puck seems to be with infrared, and the receiver is on the bottom of the active speaker, the right speaker. And on here we've got power, we've got monitor, dynamic, and this thing is blinking at me as I'm pushing buttons. Dynamic, source. So there's your switching between auxiliary, PC, digital direct, fiber optic, digital coaxial, and then probably Bluetooth. You've got a vocal mode, a classic mode, and then media controls right on this little puck, which is kind of cool. Obviously, if this is infrared, the biggest problem is going to be the fact that this speaker, the active speaker, is going to have to be somewhere where the puck can see it. So you can't like hide it behind your monitors or something like that. So that's a little disappointing. But you know, the idea that you've got this kind of control over your speaker system, and that you've got media controls that don't necessarily have to be built into your keyboard and stuff like that. That is a really cool capability, and one that I'm very excited to see in action. Obviously, we have not tried the speaker yet, as we just now unpacked it. Our next task, of course, will be to plug these in, use them, test them out. In fact, I am recording this right before an episode of F5 Live, and so tonight's F5 Live will actually be edited using these as my monitors to see how they work. So I'm really excited to see these things in action. The review will be published as soon as possible, and you'll always, as always, you can see those reviews at PLUGHITZlive.com/reviews. And until next time, ciao.